everyone, today I'm going to be making Serendipity's famous frozen hot chocolate. For our dry ingredients, we're going to need 1/3 cup granulated sugar and 1/3 cup dry milk powder, along with 2 tablespoons of Ghirardelli cocoa powder, 1 tablespoon Hershey's cocoa powder, 1 tablespoon Goutard cocoa powder, and a pinch of salt. Now we're going to add all of our ingredients to a bowl and whisk them all together. Now we're going to add 3 cups of ice to our blender, along with 1 cup of milk, and our dry ingredients. Now we're going to pulse our mixture until it is smooth. Now we're going to fill up our glass. Now we're going to top our frozen hot chocolate with whipped cream. Wow, this looks so good, so let's give it a taste. Wow, I really like that. It's not quite the same as Serendipity, because I remember Serendipity being a lot more icy and also had a lot more chocolate flavor due to the 10 different types of chocolate they use, so I find that kind of amazing. But this is also almost a little bit lower quality, I feel like. I feel like theirs is a bit higher quality, and it's a lot richer and chocolatier, but this is still very good. I give it a 7.5 out of 10. If you're missing Serendipity, or you've never had Serendipity before, I definitely recommend trying this recipe out. As I've been drinking, I noticed that this is a little bit more icy than I originally thought, so yes, it is the same iciness as Serendipity, but also, it doesn't quite taste the same, because I realized that Serendipity, they use 10 different types of chocolate, and they also use melted chocolate instead of cocoa powder, so it's a lot more rich and chocolatey. I definitely still recommend this though, because it is a very easy recipe, and it's really delicious. Now I'm going to share with you some stories from my trip to New York in 2014. The first story is pretty short. I remember the first day I was in New York City. It happened to be my birthday coincidentally, and I saw this super funny sign that said "Happy birthday, you big sexy," so I decided to take a picture in front of it because that's just kind of a funny memory I have. When I went to New York, that was also my first time trying Ippudo, and I thought that was some of the best ramen I've ever had, and since then I've had it many times, and even a few days ago I got takeout from there. Some of you might have been wondering why I decided to make Serendipity's famous frozen hot chocolate today. Well, I was kind of craving it, because I remember my first time in New York City, I tried Serendipity's frozen hot chocolate for the first time, and I remember really enjoying it. I actually got their mint frozen hot chocolate, and I thought it was super delicious and super refreshing. I have another funny story related to Serendipity. So at Serendipity, we bought a whole bunch of frozen hot chocolate mix, and we decided to take it back home with us. So when we were at the airport, we got stopped at security because they saw that it was in a metal tin, and they didn't know what it was, so they rummaged through our bags, and they found that it was the Serendipity's frozen hot chocolate mix. But it was alright, and they let us bring it on a plane, and I actually made it at home a few days later, and it was absolutely amazing. Another fun thing that I did in New York City is I got a caricature, and I thought that was super fun. I had to sit still for around 30 minutes while an artist drew a caricature of me, and I thought it turned out pretty good, and honestly it's pretty funny as well. Now here's the last story. I definitely saved the best for last. This is about when I went to Iroha, a Japanese restaurant. When I was looking through the menu, the appetizer section caught my view. You know why? Because guess what I saw in there? I saw grilled chicken heart skewers. Yes, that was one of the appetizers, so I ordered it, and I tried it, and I really liked it. That's some of the best chicken I've ever eaten. I really like that part of the chicken. The heart is very delicious. Some of you might be thinking, wait, heart? Doesn't that taste just like blood? Well, actually, no, it doesn't. It's very juicy and very tender. It almost reminds me of a really flavorful chicken thigh, and it was absolutely amazing. Just had a little bit of salt and pepper, but sometimes that's all you need. Dessert at that restaurant was also some of the best dessert I've ever had in my entire life. It was a chocolate crepe cake, and it was so decadent and so rich, and I really enjoyed it. And since then, I had been looking for a lot of different chocolate crepe cakes, and a few months ago, I saw that Lady M had a chocolate crepe cake, and I tried it. It just wasn't the same though. It was still very delicious, but it wasn't quite as chocolatey, and that is definitely the best chocolate crepe cake I've ever had. Another thing that I'll never forget about that night is as we were eating dinner, I heard a notification pop up on my phone, and it kind of scared me, in fact, because it's that loud blaring alarm that you usually associate with Amber Alerts on your phone, and it was quite sudden, so I checked it, and they said that there was a flash flood warning for New York City, so I was kind of worried. So we ate our dinner, and then we left the restaurant, and when we got outside, it was the most rain I've ever seen in my entire life. There's just sheets of rain falling non-stop. It was almost like a machine gun, and it was definitely filling the street up with water, so we walked to the subway station, and it was quite uncomfortable. The good news though is once we reached our stop and we got to our hotel, the rain definitely calmed down, and it was really nice outside. Some of you might be thinking, what's the big deal about that? It just sounds like you had a little bit of a rainstorm, but the truth is, it was very different than what I'm used to, because here on the West Coast, usually rainstorms are a lot lighter and not so ferocious, because in the East Coast, when I was there, it was my first time experiencing a rainstorm on the East Coast, and it was super powerful, and I forgot to mention there's a lot of wind, so yeah, it just kind of surprised me and I wasn't really used to it. I also got to see a lot of fun sights in New York City, like the Empire State Building, the Statue of Liberty, Grand Central Station, Central Park, and even riding the subway for the first time. I also highly recommend visiting New York City if you have the chance, because I really enjoyed my experience, both the first time I went there and the second time I went there. It was just absolutely amazing. Anyways, that's gonna wrap it up for today. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Make sure if you did to give it a like, and also make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.